Hello YouTube, and welcome to another moto vlog coming at you from Sterling, Virginia, my beautiful condo that you cannot see, but that is the way it is. So here we are today on a group ride with Motorcycles of Dulles. We already rode at this point for about 3.5 hours, but it was all on road, and it was roads that I've ridden all before, and nothing too exciting. And the interesting part is coming up, the unpaved, not off-road, but unpaved section. So here we go, the first unpaved section. We're hitting it right now, standing up, boom, on that unpaved road. So, what's a group ride with a unpaved roads like? With people I've never met, skill levels I don't know, and yeah, I mean, I'll just go out and say it. It was a lot of nervousness. It was a lot of apprehension going into it. But pretty quickly, I have to say, I calmed down and really just stopped worrying completely. It was great. We got some Ocelot brewing today. Awesome Ocelot. Something like that. They make pretty solid beers. I've got the I don't know if I know the name of this one here. It's Misunderstood, just like me. It's misunderstood right now. I'm not misunderstood, I'm just weird. That's a bit of a different story. But the Misunderstood, maybe it's misunderstood, but it's delicious. I don't care about understanding or not understanding anything. So, we're moving on. I think I'm just going to rant and ramble a little bit while you guys just watch. As I said, this was a very relaxing, easygoing ride. I got to admit, talking is actually kind of painful right now. I've got a massive canker sore on the side of my tongue that every time I try to talk, it just brushes up against my teeth and it hurts like shit. So we'll see. We'll see if I can even make it for this 20-minute long video here. Too much. Just too much. Anyway. So we did some unpaved roads that I've actually never been on before. I mean, Loudoun County, like, as many of you know, has hundreds and hundreds of miles of unpaved roads. And exploring all of them takes some time. I'm sure I've been on roads near these roads, but I've never been on these specific ones. So one thing to know, of course, is these roads around here, in the winter time, like that, or in the late fall, early winter that we're in now, the roads have had all their gravel pretty much washed away. What ends up happening is, in the spring, once it starts warming up again, these trucks come in and dump gravel all along all these roads, like 6 inches of gravel or something, like a lot of gravel. And it's like two different things if you ride in the winter and ride in the spring. So that's something always to keep in mind when you're doing this, is that at this time of year it's pretty easy because this is just like hard packed dirt. You've got good predictable grip. And it's not too bad. It's just, you know, a little more bumpy than you might anticipate from coming from paved roads. Going to the unpaved roads, you're going to get a lot more bumps. You know. But it's not really that bad. And it's certainly nothing that you can't handle. One of the reasons you stand up on the motorcycle, of course, is to deal with the bumps. Let the bike move around underneath you, you know, be it, you know, vertically up and down, bouncing with the bumps, or side to side, sliding around. You want to be neutral on the bike so that the bike can move around underneath you and that you're not getting thrown around by the bike. Anyway, enough lecturing, right? Now we're back on some paved roads here, onto another clip. As always, it is just beautiful out here, especially during this time of year when there's not many leaves on the trees, and you can kind of see all the properties that these extremely wealthy people have. Yeah, I mean, millions and millions of dollars worth of crap almost always dedicated either to cows or horses. As you'll see coming up, there, I think in this clip actually, there's lots of cows, and we interact with them just a little bit in a nice, safe, responsible manner. We, you know, go around some turns, interact with some cows. So one thing you'll notice with me is that I don't carry a lot of corner speed on these off-road roads, and that's not because I'm, you know, worried about grip or worried about sliding or falling, really. It's more that I'm worried about cars coming the other direction. And so when I'm going around corners on these roads, I make it a point to myself to always kind of take it easy. Just so I always have plenty of room to stop or get out of the way of any oncoming traffic, because these roads are very narrow. And you'll see throughout this video plenty of oncoming traffic. More oncoming traffic than I typically see, especially on a Sunday. I don't know if it's the route or if it's just the time of year or the time of day or whatever, but this is pretty much the most oncoming traffic that I personally have seen, really. So take with that what you will there. As you can see, though, it's just a beautiful day. So we're going to get to some points later where, unfortunately, the video is going to become a little harder to watch. I hope you guys can stick through it and get to the end, but if you don't get to the end on this one, I totally understand, and I think I'll say at this point that you've seen pretty much what you're going to see, of course. Heard what you're going to hear, of course, in about 7 minutes worth of talking. Here we go, here we go. Look at the cows running. They all started, you can't really see it, but they all start like stampeding. I don't really know what happened. Once a couple of them start running, the rest of them are like, oh shit, we gotta run too. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. They're just getting a little excited. So that's my bovine interaction for the day, for the week, the month, the year. And we're moving on now to another clip, like usual. So you can see some more oncoming traffic. It just is what it is. Yeah, another Sunday. So temperature-wise, it was, I'd say it was between about, 50 on the low end. So when the ride started, it was about 45, but it quickly got up above 50, and then it kind of fluctuated around 50 to 53, 54, and that's where it stayed. So it was, I wouldn't say it was cold, but certainly wasn't warm, and I didn't exactly have a whole lot of gear going on, so well, I had all my gear, you know. I had my helmet, jacket, motorcycle pants, leather motorcycle pants with all the protection, boots, motorcycle boots, and of course, as you can maybe see from time to time, my very fancy Dainese D1 titanium gloves, which are just unbelievable. They've done like 20,000 miles now at this point, and they're still like brand new almost in terms of stitching and quality and stuff. So I mean, yeah, they were very expensive when I bought them, but man, they're holding up great. So I think we got a pretty cool bit of a clip coming up here. Yeah, we got this bridge. I don't recall ever going over this before. I don't recall ever going over this. That's just... Look how narrow it is. I mean, good God. It's pretty cool, though. You gotta admit, that's a pretty cool little bridge. And it's just like kind of like right there in the middle of nowhere. Like, you'd never expect it to be there. Like, what do you think possessed them to even make that bridge rather than just have the roads, these two roads here, dead end at that river or whatever that is? I think it said that was a state scenic river. or creek or whatever the heck it was. It doesn't really matter. And then we got a nice view here. Pretty cool. And of course we're gonna move on, and this is where things are gonna get a little hard to watch. So about this second half of the video, the sun's starting to go down, and if we're riding westerly at all, you know, in the westerly direction in the afternoon here, it's just like the sun is like right in our bloody face, even though it isn't exactly late in the day. It's like, oh god, I want to say it's like 2 something p.m. or something at this point, but even still at 2 p.m. the sun's like really low in the sky, and it just, yeah. So I tried, you know, for this video I reduced the highlights as much as I could and turned the whites down a little bit just to try to make this not so painful on the eyes. But yeah, I mean, that's as good as it's gonna get, guys. Sorry. Hopefully you don't have like a high dynamic range monitor. You just got a normal monitor like I have, and it's really not too bad, but on a truly HDR device, this might get a little bright. I'm sorry, I apologize, and feel free to, you know, turn it off at this point and just have a good one. But hey, if you want to stick around and watch the rest, that's by all means. I would appreciate it. Enjoy, you know, the company, the digital company that I'm actually not getting at all, but you know, maybe somehow, some way, through the aether, it all comes back to me, right? And I feel your presence watching my videos here, or I look at the analytics, which I actually don't do. I don't look at my analytics or my view counts or any of that. It's kind of, YouTube likes to shove it down your throat, but I'm not really a big fan. I always say this, you know, I don't care. I just don't care. So I'm not going to go into it again. Like I always go into it, always saying this crap. I don't need to say it, guys. I don't think I need to say it. Not this time. But man, I mean, this is just, as you can see, this is just a chill ride. Everyone is got their own level of knowledge and skill. One lady who's a say about a middle-aged, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna guess. I would say she was, you know, middle-aged, a little, decent bit older than me, and this was her first time ever riding on any significant length of unpaved roads. She said she'd done a couple like dirt driveways, very tentatively, but the leader of the ride talked her into it, and she did great. She made it through the whole thing. She kept the pace. She didn't, which of course the pace was very ginger, but she kept the pace, and everything was good. No one fell. No one came close to falling. Everything was completely cool, and it was just awesome. I mean, this was, to be honest, one of the best, if not the best, big group ride I've ever had. And I don't know how many bikes. We'll have to count it up from the start. Let me take a look. I can always pull up the start here, and we'll see. We've got about, hold on one quick second. This is a good place to count. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like we got 10 bikes, including the 2 coordinators. So we have 8 participants and 2 coordinators on this unpaved part. I think when we were doing it to start with, I believe we had something like 23 or 24 bikes to start with on the paved part, and people kind of trickled off, and we lost people over time. Not in a bad way. They just, you know, a few people here and there decided, this is enough. I don't want to ride in this group anymore. And then when it came time to do this unpaved part, Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, a good portion of, you know, a good portion of the remainder of not half, but, you know, maybe 40%, 30-40% of the remainder left, and we were left with this about 8 guys, 10 bikes. One of them was riding 2 up. I gotta admit, I don't know the rules for riding off unpaved roads 2 up, but they certainly did not stand up. They were both seated the entire time, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I mean, good for them for doing it, for sure, but I feel bad for them because, man, they're eating all the nasty bumps that you're running over and stuff. You're just eating all of that, you know? So that's just no fun at all. Oh, we missed it. There was an Amazon truck. I was gonna make fun of that because I know I just like making fun of Amazon. Yeah, they had some Amazon deliveries going on in the middle of nowhere and these unpaved roads on a Sunday. Ugh. Ugh, that is not fun. But hey, what are you gonna do? Anyways, we're getting close to the end here. We did do a little more. At this point, we're pretty much done with the unpaved. We had a couple more unpaved roads, but unfortunately, I mean, they're just going straight west. So we're just staring right into the sun. So I'm gonna keep that kind of to a minimum here. Oh, we got some people here. Rev at them, yeah. Rev at the people. And I got to do one nice lean. I gotta get one good lean angle going on my trip, right? And it was right here, coming up. So you can see I'm kind of slingshotting a little and then speeding up and then going into the turn. As you can see, I didn't really look down. That was good. I probably could have looked up more, but I didn't look down, so I have to admit I'm pretty proud of myself there. God, the heck is wrong with me? Anyway, so here you can see, here is kind of a precarious situation. This is probably the closest a bad thing came to happening. As you see, everyone checked up, and then everyone checked up again. I really wasn't expecting that, so I ended up pulling up alongside of that guy just a little bit on the gravel, which I wasn't a big fan of doing that, but yeah, it was either pull up alongside him like that or like get on the brakes really, you know, pretty hard. And I wasn't about to do that for no reason, you know, so when you have the room, might as well use it. But yeah, that was probably the scariest moment of the entire ride for me, so yeah, that sounds pretty good. As you can see here, we got a little S-turn, nothing fancy, and I got myself into a tiny predicament with where to put my feet down. As you'll see here in a second, I kind of have to be careful or else I'm going to be putting my feet into a big mud puddle. Well, maybe not mud puddle, a water puddle. Dirty, muddy water puddle. As you can see, I want to stop next to this guy, but so I kind of pull up here and I actually drive into the water puddle so that I'm able to put my left foot down next to it while still being close to this guy. So this is our final clip, guys. This is the final unpaved section of the day, and I have to admit it was probably the trickiest just because the road had no gravel on it and it seemed to be pretty much just soaked through, and it was very slick and I want to say muddy, but yeah, it was a little muddy. And yeah, that gave me a little bit of pause in terms of how much grip. I really don't have a lot of experience in mud. I should say I don't have a lot of positive experience in mud. I've fallen on my ass in mud a number of times, and I'd rather, you know, not fall on this trip. So as you can see, taking it very gingerly around this turn. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your weekend and think about your riding.